He never really grew up, not in the way that matters, not where it counts, in the soul. You've probably seen someone like him, sitting alone in a cafe, sketching grand ideas in a notebook that never become more than ink on a page, falling into relationships with passion so intense it feels like destiny, only to disappear the moment reality shows up. He chases meaning but runs from responsibility, dreams of greatness but avoids the first small step. It's not laziness and it's not stupidity. It's something deeper, a kind of emotional limbo. Carl Jung had a name for this, the Puer Eternus, the eternal boy, a child trapped inside a man's body, a spirit allergic to limitation, addicted to possibility, terrified of becoming real. For him, commitment feels like a small death, the death of freedom, the death of fantasy, the death of feeling special. So he keeps his life in draft mode, never fully choosing anything, because choosing one path means letting go of all the others, and that, to him, feels unbearable. He lives in the world of what could be, but the second he touches what is, he retreats. This pattern almost always begins in childhood. Some boys grow up overprotected, wrapped in love, but denied autonomy. They are praised constantly, but never tested. Failures are softened, discomfort removed. They never build the muscle of resilience because someone else always steps in. The world becomes frightening, not because it's cruel, but because it's unfamiliar. Others grow up emotionally neglected, raised without guidance, affection, or presence. They retreat inward, building fantasy worlds to survive. Dreams become shelter. Imagination becomes escape. Different childhoods, same wound. A boy who never completes the transition into grounded adulthood. He associates responsibility with danger, abandonment, failure, or loss. So he stays in motion, chasing excitement, avoiding stillness, living on spontaneity, not out of rebellion, but self-protection. And here lies the paradox. The eternal boy is often magnetic. He is charming, passionate, expressive, alive in a way most men aren't. People fall for him easily. But the closer you get, the more confusing he becomes. One day he's obsessed, the next he's distant. One week he's building a future, the next he's lost in distractions. It's easy to believe he just needs time or love. But time doesn't fix a wound that lives in the soul. Jung wrote that the eternal boy isn't unable to grow because he's youthful. He struggles because he cannot face the weight of real life. He isn't cruel. He isn't trying to hurt anyone. He simply hasn't met himself yet. His entire adult identity is built around protecting the fragile child inside. The child who never felt safe, never felt prepared, never felt supported. So he escapes into ideas, hobbies, romance, art, substances, anything that keeps him from hearing the inner cry he's avoided all his life. Why wasn't I protected? Why didn't anyone teach me how to stand on my own? Why does adulthood feel like death? And so he creates a private Neverland, a world where life is excitement, not discipline, where love is fantasy, not partnership, where dreams burn bright but never become solid. But the eternal boy is not evil, he's incomplete. His sensitivity, imagination, and creativity are gifts. But without grounding, these gifts become chaos. This is how the shadow forms. The man who never finishes what he starts. The partner who cannot stay. The father who plays but cannot protect. The artist who dreams but never builds. Jung believed every man must confront this archetype. The goal isn't to kill the inner child. It's to integrate him, to blend the imagination of the boy with the responsibility of the man. But what happens when the boy refuses to grow? Eventually, the fantasy collapses. He loses the job. The relationship ends. He looks around and sees half-finished projects and broken promises. And that's when the real pain begins. Not from outside, but from within. Potential stops being exciting and becomes shameful. He starts to feel haunted by the man he could have been. At this cliff, there are two paths. One path is denial, blaming the world, becoming cynical, escaping deeper into distraction, chasing new highs while avoiding old wounds. The other path is courage, turning inward and asking the question he's feared the most. What am I running from? This is where healing begins. Not by forcing maturity, but by grieving. Grieving the innocence lost, the love missed, the dreams abandoned, the versions of himself he never allowed to live. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." For the eternal boy, the unconscious is a landscape of unmet needs and unprocessed pain. Until he confronts it, he keeps repeating the cycle. The transformation requires a symbolic death, not of the child, but of the child's control. It means choosing grounding over fantasy, process over perfection, devotion over escape. The dreamer becomes the builder. The lover becomes the protector. The boy becomes a man. This journey is messy and slow. It requires nervous system healing, inner child work, shadow work, and the creation of an inner father who can offer structure and safety to the wounded child inside. But when this happens, the change is profound. He doesn't lose his magic, he channels it. He doesn't stop dreaming, he brings those dreams to earth. And he learns to love, not as a boy seeking a mother, but as a man capable of presence. This is what real maturity is, not dull or boring, but deep, grounded, alive. The soil where purpose finally grows. To the men who see themselves in this, you don't need to abandon your dreams. You don't need to become someone else. You simply need to stop running from yourself. Avoidance may feel safe, but it's slowly stealing your life. It is not too late. You can still become the man you were meant to be, not despite your pain, but through it. And to those who love an eternal boy, understand this. He isn't trying to hurt you. He's trying to survive something he doesn't have language for. You cannot save him. You cannot grow him. But you can choose yourself. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step away and let him meet his own reflection. Jung believed every archetype must be faced and integrated. The boy inside doesn't need to be killed. He needs to be fathered. And when he is, he becomes a source of creativity, passion, and soul, not as fantasy, but as reality grounded in truth. What the world needs now is not more boys pretending to be men, but men who have faced their inner boy and chosen to become whole.